Assalamu alaikum guys. I hope all is well and you're keeping safe. Today is Thursday the 28th of May 2020 and it's day 78 in the UK lockdown. Today's vlog is a little late. It's just come past 9:30 p.m. UK time, and basically I was just looking through the news, just catching up because I've been trying to avoid it all, and the latest news is the China and Indian clashes at the border. So let's brief you up a little, people who are not familiar, and then we'll look into it, yeah? So basically, China and India, they had a war in 1962, and it was over the disputed area of the Himalayan borders. It was the highest peak, they say it's the highest point of one of the mountains there. And basically what I didn't even know was, obviously I knew they had issues on a border because India shares a border with China, Pakistan, and then you've got Nepal, and you little bits and bobs there, yeah. Now basically, for those who are familiar with China, Pakistan and India in disputes over Kashmir, we have got Azad Kashmir, where I'm from, and then you've got Srinagar, which is the Indian controlled Kashmir. Now what's happened is, over the years they've had a few wars regarding it. Pakistan doesn't want to claim Kashmir, it just wants to help them get independence from India, because the national security turned around and passed some resolution basically saying that it's a disputed territory and nobody can take full charge over it, full control over it. Now it's been going on for years, and recently what happened was, during the Pakistan and India they came to really close to a war basically. Recently, when one of their pilots was shot down, their planes were shot down, they attacked some and killed, they attacked a forest and killed a lot of animals and destroyed a few trees. Now basically, what's happened is, what I didn't know was that the same dispute that they've got with Pakistan is exactly the same dispute they've got with China and Nepal. And that area that they're looking at, that all comes under Kashmir. I mean, originally it must have been Kashmir at one stage. Now what's happened is, Pakistan side is under Pakistan control, yeah? And those Kashmiris want to be independent. I don't know how they're going to be able to cope with it, but okay, that's a different story. But at the moment they're fine, they've got law and order, they've got their rights. In Kashmir, the Indian side controlled Kashmir, that place has been under lockdown for the last 5-6 months, if not more. And it's come, it's got so bad that, the residents there, their women were getting picked up, selected 30-40 women every night, and they were taken and never returned, and God knows what they were doing with them, yeah? This is from the news that's there. I've got friends that actually live in those areas, and these are the stories that are coming from there. I mean, you can look on YouTube and you'll see them, yeah? And you can verify most of them. All the youths are getting taken away and the parents don't know what's going on. It come to a stage where, they couldn't even bury their deceased ones outside. They had to bury them inside the house, yeah? So that was the tension that they were going. It's calmed down now, but the Kashmiris are still suffering. Now what's happened is, there's this area, but let's go back a little before and get you familiar with the situation. Now they've had a war in 1962, and then they come to an agreement that, okay, this is the line, and it's still disputed, but you maintain that side, we maintain this side until we come to some agreement, yeah? And this was 1962. Now what's happened is, in 2017, they've done a treaty that we're going to sort this out. We're not going to go to war. We're going to sit down as neighbours, friendly neighbours, and we're going to sort out this dispute peacefully. But recently, especially in this 2019 and early 2020, basically they've had a lot of scuffles between the Chinese and the Indians. The Indians claim that the Chinese are building and constructing, and they've got no rights there, and we're helping our so-and-so friend, and stuff like that, yeah? The Chinese side of the story is that, listen, this is our end, and as far as we're concerned, this is our land. It's in dispute because of that side, but the thing is though, as far as we're concerned, it's ours, but can you stay on that side? Yeah. Now, America has played a very crafty game here. What America's done, everybody knows. America is in some big trade disputes with China. They're, they're basically scared of China's power economically. These guys are taken over. The job wise, they got everything. I mean, these guys are building South Asia, united with other countries, and obviously it's tit for tat. You get and you give, but the thing is, though, they are developing. Now, America doesn't seem to like that. America doesn't like to see any nation trying to improve their living qualities and stuff like that. Yeah. Now, basically, what's happened is America has always been using India as one of their puppet regimes. I'm not saying all Indians, guys. I've got so many friends. I mean, a lot of my friends actually are against most of these things that are going on, and I'm not going to get into dispute because that's obviously between them two countries. I'm just trying to basically just let you guys know what my thoughts are. Now, basically, what's happened is, America has been using India, because India is located between Russia, China, and Pakistan, and then Iran. Yeah, remember Iran and China, India have got a lot of trades going on. These guys, the Indians, have invested money in one of their seaports and stuff like that. Yeah. Now Pakistan has got Balochistan, and Balochistan, yeah, you got Gwadar port, and that Gwadar port is the deepest port in the world, and it's natural. So these guys, the Chinese, have done the CPAC and they've done the developing, and everything's going sky high. I mean, do some investments there, guys. I've done some investments there, and I would recommend Gwadar is the next Dubai. People are going to leave Dubai, they're going to come back to Gwadar. But that's a different vlog. We'll come back to that one day, inshallah. Now, basically what's happened is, Trump's been using India. So what they've done is they've been selling hardware, military hardware to China, even though they've got Russia close to them, they've got China close to them, they've got Pakistan close to them. 3 nukes, nuclear powers. India is also a nuclear power. Now what's happened is, instead of these guys all sticking together and ruling the world, because you've got Iran, you've got China, you've got Russia, you've got Pakistan, and then you've got India. 5 nuclear countries with some power behind them, military power behind them, and a lot of knowledge in wars. Can you imagine them united? So what America's done is they've used India for 2 reasons. Number one, to turn around and keep Iran at bay. So whenever they need to put pressure on Iran, have you noticed India always backs off and backs USA? Now, China and Russia have always opposed America. They've always opposed America. So what America's been doing is they've been pumping money, pumping stuff into India, just for these kind of days that's happening today. Now, if you remember a little while back, basically, when India and Pakistan were on the brink of war, Trump offered to turn around and, basically help solve the issues. And what's happened is, India turned around and rejected it. They go, listen, it's an internal matter. We don't need you guys to get involved. Yeah. So America's just stayed quiet. When Pakistan was like, yo, what's going on? Are you guys going to talk? Or this? America goes, look, they've told us it's an internal matter, so we've got nothing to do with it. Yeah. And we can't do nothing. Now, what's happened is, with the COVID going on and the world, bloody America is preoccupied, even though it's still putting sanctions on Venezuela and Iran, and it's still causing trouble here and there and trying to protect Israel when the world's uniting against Israel's annexation of Palestinian land and stuff, They've still got time for that, but right now America has got bigger issues. America has got economical issues like all the Western countries, And I'm not saying China, Russia, Iran, and all these don't. They do as well. But for some reason, they have managed to cope with it much better than most of these Western countries. And what's happened is China has used this time, this moment, to just go in there full force and say, listen, mate, no more messing around. Apparently, this this thing's been going on for too long, and let's turn around and just go in there and deal with it. So they've had a few scuffles with the Indians. They've had a push. There's some videos out there where there's, I mean, I was showing my boys, I go, look, they're fighting at the, what's his name, the border. And all these guys were doing hugging, and my little 8-year-old goes, oh, Baba, they're just hugging. That's not fighting. Well, that's what fighting is around them ends of the world, yeah? Especially at the border. I mean, these guys, you know, they got weapons and stuff, man. So any little false move can just trigger off something big. And I hope that doesn't happen, because the whole world is going to suffer from this. Not just two countries. Whenever a war starts, it just does not just, you know, stay in between them two countries. Other proxies get involved, and friends get involved, and enemies get involved, and innocent people just die. So basically what's happened now is, yeah, China's just gone in there with between 800 to 1,000 soldiers, gone in there, put up 80 tents, and raised their flag up there, and have turned around and started moving military hardware there. Now, India, the Indian media just went silent for a while. I mean, if it was Pakistan, I mean, come on guys, I'm not here to turn around and be biased towards any country, but realistically, when it was with Pakistan, Indian media was going mad. The world media was going mad. Everybody was yapping away. We're going to do this. India's going to do this. We're going to go in there. We're going to have nashta, you know, breakfast in Islamabad, and we'll have tea in Lahore, and we'll have lunch in Karachi, and, you know, stuff like that, yeah? And that never happened. But this time, there was no hoo-ha about it. There was no hoo-ha about it. And what China done was, when Trump jumped in again and he goes, I'll help solve this issue between you two if you don't need me. So China turned around and said, listen, China rejected America, Trump's call, rejected it and said, listen, it's an internal matter, we don't need you. Just the way India did with Pakistan when they were arguing over it. Now what's happened is this area, yeah, this area, basically, if you look at it, it's basically Kashmir, yeah? Full Kashmir, originally how it would have been. Now it's, you know, Azad Kashmir, then you've got Indian-controlled Kashmir, then you've got this area, Ladakh, yeah? That was also part of it. I mean, I'm not really good with my geography and stuff, but if you get the picture I'm trying to build here, that's all in one area. Now, basically, so India's in dispute with Pakistan over Kashmir, they're in dispute with China over that area, Ladakh, and then Nepal as well. So what's happened now is, while China's gone in there and done all this, China just turned around and said, listen, if you want to talk, we can talk. What's done is done. Indirectly, this is what they're saying. We are here. We've got all our military hardware there. They've started building, what's his name, aircraft base there. So, you know, if there was any issues or anything, they would use that as the main attack place, even though that will also be a target. But it just saves them from fueling, and they can always have planes there, you know, target planes there. Now, what's happened is another reason is that because the highest point in that area, I think it's very important militarily for any country. So why would China give that up to India? Now, India is basically, it's got all the Pajis that are in the army. These guys are like lions, yeah? They'll fight for their country, they'll do everything. I mean, even the Hindus will do that, they'll fight for their country and stuff. But what they don't realize is that rather than wait for Modi to just give you a call and say, do or don't, you know, it's logic, yeah, logic. America is using you to get its own stuff out of there, man. It's trying to put pressure on China. China don't give a shit. and the reality is, your neighbors, when it's all said and done, America is thousands of miles away. and you guys are neighbors. Basically, you can stand on a border and just look at each other. That's how close you are. The countries are joined and just with the one little border wall going through, yeah? Now, obviously Pakistan, they're going to turn around and then jump in and say, yes, yes, it's China, we're with you. Because they've been trying to get India to turn around and leave the Kashmiris alone. So they're going to back China because China's always backed Pakistan. They're really good friends. They've always been there together. They've helped each other out through lots of ups and downs. So they're obviously going to stick together. But Nepal is trying to be crafty as well. And Nepal saying, wait a second, mate, if Chinese are in there, we might as well get in there. Just like Bangladesh did when India and Pakistan were at war. Bangladesh goes, yeah, we might as well get our freedom now, and they got their freedom. So basically Nepal's trying that. Now the problem is that now India, the Indian media has got no options but to start reporting, and now the pressure is building, and I think India will have to try to do something to gain control back. Now the problem is that China has taken a huge step, if it's true. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but this is from what I'm seeing on the net and everything. If China's gone in there and started building an aircraft base, and they've put 80 tents there and moved over 10,000 soldiers there, and they've turned around and basically put their flag on there, I don't think it's going to be that easy for them to just leave. And if they do, it'll be counted as a big loss, a big defeat, and India will definitely capitalize on that. India will be putting that up on every single street sign as possible, yeah, that we got revenge for the 1962 war, yeah. So now we're left in a situation. We all know Israel is going to come and it's going to help India, and we know Pakistan is definitely going to help China. Now the problem is Nepal's going to come in, but then Afghanistan, this is where America, India, remember India's got a lot of stuff going on in Afghanistan right now. It's come to a point where Afghanistan is even turned, half of the Afghanis have turned against Pakistan. They believe that Pakistan is the troublemaker here. India's been supporting us. So there's a lot of youths that actually are following down that road, if you know what I mean. So what's going to happen is now the proxy wars are going to start beginning. So Israel's going to come in. You've got Daesh already in, Afghanistan. And we all know Daesh will fight for whoever throws the more money. And who are the most, sponsors of terrorism right now. And all them guys have got money. And they've got money to sort the economy out or support their citizens. But they've got money for proxies to cause problems in other countries, yeah? Now, basically, what's going to happen is you've got the Taliban. The Taliban's already made it clear that their next target is India, yeah? So then you've got Daesh that are also there because America's been moving them from Iraq and Syria and then moving them there to Afghanistan. So basically, Taliban and the Daesh are going to continue fighting each other. One's fighting for Pakistan and one's fighting for India. Basically, Taliban will be fighting for Pakistan and Daesh will be fighting for India. Then you've got Israel behind. Remember, it's not just for India. They want to cause problems in Pakistan because of the CPEC. Because once that is up and running and it's the new Dubai is going to all close down. All the jobs, all the offices, everything is going to move there. And I'm telling you, for the people that don't know, Google Gwadar or YouTube Gwadar and Port City development, yeah, and you'll see it's the most beautiful place in the world. And I'm surprised that they didn't start this long time ago. But when you read into it, they did try a few times, and what happened was the American lobby, the Israeli lobby, the Indian lobby, they did not let it happen. They started doing terrorist attacks, stuff like that, so people don't go there. Even when they were developing, there was a terrorist attack there. Now the situation is going to get out of control. What's going to happen is we're going to have proxy wars being fought, because let's face it, they're not going to fight each other. They're not going to just go and nuke each other out. They're not going to just turn around and just start throwing bombs and firing bullets and stuff like that. The world's moved on from that. They're in space these days, you know what I mean? These guys are trying to get one over each other in space. So forget these nukes. Nukes are not needed. Look, Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. They've got the technology. They haven't got a weapon, and they're untouchable. It's, you know what I mean? They're untouchable. So basically, what's happening now is the next move. America is gonna try. They already tried getting Australia involved. China has basically just gone ahead because I think India was expecting China to just do a little push and shove and argue for a few weeks, and then we just go back onto the table, the drawing board, handshake, and that's it. We go back to normal again. China took advantage. As soon as this little scuffle thing happened, China's gone in there and dealt with it. Now, guys, now the issue is, the issue is that the world is just coming out of this coronavirus. I mean, I'm sure I come across somewhere in the news today that somewhere in Africa, remember in Saudi Arabia a few months back, we had all the crickets that come out. The insects were everywhere. These guys had to, oh my God, I saw the videos of them moving it, and it makes you itch. Now the same thing's happened somewhere in Africa. It's happening in Africa right now, and this is another sign. It's another sign for the end of the times, and these guys are gonna go at it now. So now we don't need to worry about the COVID. Now we're gonna need to worry about bombs being blasted in mosques, in public markets, in schools, in shopping centers, stuff like that, just to spook up that area. Because remember, it's all about CPEC. They don't give CPEC. They don't give a shit about anything else. They just don't want. The way they're selling the story to everyone is that China is doing this, China is doing this. But the thing is, though, Pakistan will gain because it's their port. Remember, China has got some disputes with some countries, Thailand and all, Philippines and all these lot. And that's due to America. These guys ain't even capable of bloody having their own fishing bloody regulations, if you know what I mean. America dictates everything to them. So what America's done is America's turned around and cause some problems for China in the South China Sea. Now, basically, what's happened is, if you look on the map, for China to import and export stuff, China has to go through the South China Sea, to get the stuff there. That can take 45 to 60 days, and then they have to, once this got there, this is by ship. And then from there, they have to put it on to transportation, trains, trucks, and then another 25 days to get it to where they need to. Now, with the port city in Gwadar, which is in Balochistan, part of Pakistan now, basically, it would take China 10 days. So from 60 days, plus another 10, 15 days to get, transportation from the ships to where their storage location is. Now, China can just do it in 10 days. So basically, they're saving 60 days. And all this stuff is going direct. They've turned around, taken a lease out. They're developing the place really nice. They've got jobs going. And it's really nice. Now, what happened is, all this stuff that's going on is regarding that. The target on the list that George W. Bush and these lot released, they wiped off most of the countries. The only ones that are still surviving is Iran, Syria, North Korea. Pakistan is one of the biggest target, and that is not just because of its nuke and stuff like that. It's because Israel is not happy with a Muslim nation having a nuke. India's not happy with them having a port that is going to do better than the port that they've developed in Iran. And they know Iran's going to start working with them because Iran's expressed that idea already, and the desire that we will work with you guys and we can start using your port, because it's a natural deep port, and a lot of the ships have to basically anchor far away, and then from there they have to go in the small boats and load. With these ones, they come right to the end and you can just, off you go, with the big rigs and stuff. So basically, guys, that's what's going on. We'll have to keep a close eye on this. I hope they don't go to war. I hope this just dies out, just like the coronavirus, and everything just goes back to normal, and innocent people don't lose lives. So guys, that's just a brief vlog. It's still 25 minutes. I know a lot of you guys, especially the Indians and the Chinese and or anyone else that I've turned around and probably said something negative about, are gonna be very unhappy with my vlogs. But guys, please leave a note in the comments below. If you could teach me something, if I've made a mistake or something, I can learn. I'm okay with that. But basically, yeah, just let us know your thoughts. What do you think that's going to happen? Are there any videos or any reports that you guys have come across? What's going to happen? What's the next step in this situation? So yes, guys, please like, please share, please comment, and make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell icon on the side. And guys, thank you very much for your support. Jazakallah, and I'll see you soon. Allah Hafiz.